Hi, it's KCCK's Culture Crawl. I'm Dennis Green, and my guest today is Brian Glick from Revival Theater Company. Brian, it's good to see you.
It's good to see you too. Thank you.
You have a big show coming up this weekend, but before we talk about that, we just have to talk about the huge loss to you and to our entire community. Your longtime partner, your co-founder of Revival Theater Company, your business partner, Cameron Sullenberger, passed away suddenly a few weeks ago. And how are you and everybody associated with Revival handling things?
Yeah, well, thanks for mentioning that. Yeah, it's a bit of a shock, and we're still kind of trying to figure out how to navigate, especially while we're in the midst of the show. But we've had as you know, the theater community is a strong one, and there's lots of friends and colleagues that have lended their support and their hands when needed. So I'm very grateful. The board is very grateful for all that support. So, yeah, we're just day by day taking things, and things will move forward as planned. But it'll just be a little different. You know, so.
What memory of yours, just for you, will you always have when you think of Cameron?
Just his musicality, his music ability. He had an ear unlike anyone else I'd ever worked with. You just when you think someone sounds good or a group sounds good, he goes, maybe not quite, and then he'd go in and fine tune it, and you'd realize the difference that he was making as opposed to maybe someone else. And also his kindness. He could do it in a way that was nurturing, and people felt they could rise to the occasion, when he was giving them direction, because ultimately his goal was to make them sound the best that they could. And so those are the things I remember, is that collaboration and that inspiration in the rehearsal room.
He really made everybody around him better.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. And that's a big thing. And I think not everybody has that in every room. And so when you have it, you cherish it, and you hopefully don't take it for granted.
Well, we will not see anyone like him
Yeah.
ever again. He is so greatly missed. And
Yep.
again, I've said to you before, I am so sorry to hear this news, and I know that we all grieve with you, but we all celebrate the life of a truly wonderful man. And with that in mind, one of the things that was near and dear to his heart was this show. He was
Mhm.
working on it at the time of his passing, and
Mhm.
you have elected, obviously, to go forward with $1 Million Quartet.
Right. Yeah, we did. You know, Cameron would want that. He would want us to go on with the show, and I think the beauty in $1 Million Quartet is it celebrates music, it celebrates music history, and it's all feel good music. So people who go there will enjoy themselves greatly by being at the theater. And the biggest change we made to the show is we were supposed to open last weekend, February 25th, I believe it was, and we just postponed that opening weekend and pushed everything into sort of the second week. So now we open March 1st, which is a Wednesday. We do two shows on the 4th, and then we close on the 5th. So.
For those who don't know about the $1 Million Quartet, explain to people the story.
Yeah. So $1 Million Quartet is based off a true situation that happened on December 4th, 1956 at Sun Records, which is a well-known historic recording studio in Memphis that was owned and operated by Sam Phillips, who was, the individual who, discovered Johnny Cash, Carl Perkins, Elvis Presley, and Jerry Lee Lewis. And on that evening, they just happened to be having a jam session with Carl Perkins, and Jerry Lee showed up, and Elvis Presley and Johnny Cash showed up, and they had this jam session that evening that was recorded. And he called a local paper, and they came down and took pictures to document the evening. And that sort of became an iconic moment in history, and so that studio to this day is still visited by thousands of people a year, who get to sing or get to, see and touch, the microphone that Elvis used to sing that evening, the piano that Jerry Lee Lewis played. And so anyway, about 15 years ago or so, they made it into a Broadway musical, and it's been a huge hit all over the country ever since.
It's hard to not feel excited about these songs that are, really the beginning of rock and roll. You probably know just about every song that you hear on this. This had to be a bit of a challenge to cast, though, because you're definitely in a way that not quite so much with other shows. Not only, the actors have to be able to sing, they have to have a certain look about them. Tell me about that challenge.
Yeah, it is. So yeah, they have to have a look. It's also a younger look. They were in the early stages of their career, or just, Elvis was sort of just heading into Hollywood, and career was taking off there. Jerry Lee, no one knew anything about yet, which you get a glimpse of in the story. So, but yes, not only do they have to have that look and the sound, they also play the instruments. I mean, they're instrumentalists as well. Those guitars are part of them, or the piano. And they do it all from memory. So when casting this, we did a national search, because it takes a certain kind of individual to be able to do the show. And there is a group of individuals who have done it, who sort of, when they see a posting, send in their resume. I mean, we've had people in the show who, two people in the show have done the national tour, and then either have done it regionally all over the country 7 or 8 times. So it didn't take long for us to jump in and get that show on its feet. So yeah, it takes a very particular group of guys to who will fit the bill.
As a director, what's it like working with actors who have done this role, in some case done this role a bunch before?
Yeah, it's tricky. I experienced this a little bit with Color Purple. You need to know the show just as well as they do, even though they're probably going to always know it better. I think by the time we close our Elvis and Carl Perkins will have done it 300 times. So, they know the show very well. But yeah, it's also having a group of actors who are open and flexible to doing things a little differently, not too much differently, but trying a different approach. And they actually appreciate that, because they kind of get tired of doing the same thing over and over again. So they like to have the set be a little different, or the approach to a scene be a little different, or how we costume it, or the staging of it. So you don't veer too far off, but it's fun to just add a little bit of new nuances throughout the story.
And there is one female role in this show, and that is being filled by one of our awesome local
Yes.
chanteuses.
Yes, exactly. Amy Friedl Stoner is playing the role of Diane, which was Elvis's girlfriend, and she's got some great numbers like Fever and I Hear You Knocking. So they're just perfect for her. She sells the hell out of them. So it's great. And then we have Tad Paulsen, who plays Sam Phillips, who's a local actor. And then on bass and drums, we have Ken DeKaiser and Ryan Hoagland. So it's all around a really great group of musicians and actors telling the story.
It's the $1 Million Quartet, 1 week, or not weekend, 1 week only, because things fire up on Wednesday of this week, and running Wednesday through Sunday. So it's a compressed run. So get your tickets now.
Yes, yeah, things are starting to fill up. We have cabaret tables too. They have some of those available if you want to sit at a table close to Elvis, and have a bottle of wine. And it's this show opens our 9th season, so hope people come out, and trust me, they'll have a good time.
Well, this is one of my favorite shows, and if even if it wouldn't have been a very special show in other ways, it will be hugely special to everybody in the community. As not only do we enjoy great rock and roll, but we also celebrate Cameron.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tickets at artsiowa.com. You use the Orchestra Iowa ticketing, correct?
Yep, or the revivaltheatercompany.com. Either way, it'll direct you to the right location.
All right, Brian, I hope that you get a little sleep after this week, because I know there hasn't been much, but good
Yeah.
luck with it, and we'll talk soon.
All right. Thank you so much.
You can hear the Culture Crawl live on the radio many weekdays at 10:30, or download the podcast, watch or listen on your own schedule at kcck.org/culture or your favorite podcast player. I'm Dennis Green, and I'll talk to you later.